Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Let's see if we get any people. I see some. Hello. Maybe you guys are all feeling as fried as I am. Oh, what a weekend. So I was away all weekend at Christina's. We were crafting. So I have just crafted for 3 days straight. And I don't even know what I was thinking saying that I would do this tonight. But here I am. And we're going to craft again. Hello, Shelby. Hello, Robin. Hello, Susan. I'm just going to give everyone just a minute to discover us on this Sunday evening at 7 o'clock for our craft and create. Is it craft and create? I think that's what it's called. Craft and connect, craft and create, something like that. Hello, hello. And we're going to create something sunny and fun because I just have had enough of this winter stuff. And I wanted to do something fun. Oh, there's Megan. I just left Megan. How are you? Are you feeling fried like me? So I am casing a card tonight. And we are crafting and connecting. Oh, well, I called it craft and create. Or craft and create. Yeah, what? I don't know. I can never remember the name of this thing. Okay, is that what it's supposed to be called? I don't know. Let me just see here. I got to look. Because I get it wrong every time. And I'm reading it off my screen now. And if it's wrong on the screen, well, that's never going to do. Yep, it's supposed to be craft and connect. And I said it was called craft and create. Oh my gosh. Oh, well. Yeah, so I am going to do a fun card, and I am casing it. I have had this one in my to-do pile for a while, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So I did send out an email with the information in it, and I also posted it on our social media today, letting everybody know that we would be doing a card that looks like this. And if you wanted to case it, you could. So I am just going to just put something on the screen here. This is the name of the lady who created the card to begin with. I don't have her original card, but it really looks a lot like this. And she does a lot of designing for several different companies, but she does do quite a bit with Tailored Expressions. And I do really enjoy her style. One of her signature things is stitching. I know, big surprise, right? So I added a little tiny bit of stitching to my card right there. On her original card, she used a larger scallop than I did, and she did stitching down the one side. She uses her machine to stitch, though. I did it by hand. I don't have a machine that I can use, so I did it by hand, but I really love this card. A rainbow color scheme is definitely my thing. And this one even has a rainbow, so that's even better. So a few of the products, well, we've carried all the products that were used on the card at one point. The rainbow stencil we do have in stock. So this is the rainbow stencil I'll be using. It is called the Arched Rainbow, and it is a 2-piece stencil that does create this lovely rainbow. They did release this around the time that they did their arched calendars. So there is a etched line on the stencil that does show the arched calendar, but you don't have to use that. You can use the rainbow for anything, which is what I did. So that we do have in stock, I believe. The other products we did have in stock at one point or another. We may have the waves. I'm not sure. I didn't have a chance to check, but we can get all of this product. So if it's something that you're interested in, just shoot us an email and we're happy to help you out that way. But I'm going to be using the Build a Scene Rolling Waves, which is how we created the waves here. And this is the Here Comes the Sun. It is a stamp and die combo. I will just be using the die part. Well, that's not true. I'm going to use the stamp too. So the die here to create this sun, and then the stamp just to make a face. But you can create some really fun suns with this. It is a great set. It's been used many, many times. And then this is the sentiment set that came out along with that release. It's called Shine So Bright. And what I do like about it is obviously there's sentiments in here that do go with the sunshine theme, but I love the way that they have used them in a more generic fashion. So You Brighten My Day. So that can be a card that I can put in my stash that I can use for a lot of different things. And I'm always trying to look at my sentiments that way. I mean, it's always great to have the punny ones that go directly with the product that you're using, but it's also really good to have sentiments that are flexible enough that you can use them for generic things too. So I love that. You Brighten My Day. You Are a Ray of Sunshine, Sending You a Little Sunshine. So all of those are very generic, and I could make up cards ahead of time and pop them in my stash. And then on the inside of the card, I can really personalize it. So whether it's a birthday, whether it's whatever. And then you've got Hey Sunshine, You Shine So Bright, You Melt My Heart. I love this one. Here's to Another Trip Around the Sun. So great birthday card. So if you've got people who have summer birthdays, it's perfect. But then I would send this to somebody who had a winter birthday as well, just because it's a fun pun on the sunshine theme. And then you've got Hello Sunshine and Sending You a Big Warm Thank You, which is also a great one to have. Like, who doesn't want to add another thank you card to their stash? So I did my card, my sample card, using Sending You a Little Sunshine, but I also got You Brighten My Day ready. And I also got Here's to Another Trip Around the Sun ready, because I thought those were ones that I can definitely add to my stash. I'm hoping to do 2 more cards tonight. So I'll have a set of 3 of these that I can pop into my stash, and then they'll be ready to send out. Any questions so far? I see a few people saying hello. Is anyone crafting with me tonight, or am I just doing this all by myself? I know Shelby was set up in the family room just putting together some cards, probably while she's listening to me in one ear and watching TV out her eyeballs. Anybody else doing any crafting? Lisa wants to know if I'm getting it back in stock. We will bring it back in stock if you request it. How about that? We've had this before. There's always new products coming in all the time. I cannot always promise to be using current product when I do these Sunday night ones. I try to bring in some things that we have in stock, but really this is about crafting time. So I want to build up a stack of cards in my stash. So I've been kind of grabbing things that have been on my list to do. But if you see anything at any time and you're interested in it, definitely reach out to us and we can give you pricing and we can bring it back in. But if it's stuff we've already had, we may not, just because, there'll be new stuff coming down the pipe. So it just depends. Amanda's in her office. Angie Lannon's going to try stamping all the cards that I made this weekend. You're stamping them. What do you mean? The back, you mean? You're still crafting, Christina? Oh my gosh. I'm cutting out and assembling the classic car. Well, that's excellent. Susan said, I would like that sentiment if you're going to bring it in. Okay, well, I'll just ask you to please email the store and I will be happy to do that. That's a great set for sure. And it is a stamp and die combo. And when you do cut it out, I'll just show you this one. See how the die goes like around the words. I love when the dies do this. So it's a really fun one. So definitely email us at the store, and I'll pop the email up here for those of you who don't know it off the top of your head. I can just throw up our little email banner there, twoscrapbookfriends@gmail.com. And then that way it's right in front of my face, because I've got 3 days of emails to go through. I have not been on my computer at all this weekend. I disconnected from everything, which I don't do very often. So it felt good. But I'm definitely happy to bring that in for you. Oh, Diana's sitting under a blanket in Florida. I heard it was cold. I actually saw something across Facebook just before dinner that said it was snowing. And I thought, okay, this has to be wrong. Like, how can that be? But and Amanda messaged me right before I went live and said that if it's a snow day tomorrow, she's going to shoot somebody because she had a snow day Thursday, PD day Friday. And I guess, I don't know, maybe the weather's turning for another snowy day on Monday. I haven't looked yet, so I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, we're going to get started. And the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to even splatter, or I'm going to attempt to splatter at my desk tonight. Okay, that's a big step for me. But in order to complete this card, you'll notice that I have some splatter on here, and I love the way that it looks, and I want to be able to do it again. So we are going to splatter. And if it goes really badly, then I won't be doing it again. But we're going to try. Okay, so to begin, a couple of things. So here is the panel that I'm going to be working on. I did use a die that we can no longer purchase, so I can't get this for anybody. It is just a really tiny petite scallop die with stitching. Now we do have petite scallop dies. Master Layouts 4 has a die like this. The scallop's just a little larger than this. And I know that Tailored Expressions has scalloped rectangles. It's the petite scalloped, but it doesn't have the stitching option. So those are good options if you're looking for a nice scallop, but I cut my panel out so that I knew where I was working. And we're going to do the rainbow stenciling first. But before we do that, you'll notice that on here, the waves have the stitch and the scallop as well. So I put this card together on the weekend, and I could not figure out an easy way to do this. And Amanda helped me through it. And when she was done, I was like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Duh. What you want to do when you want to do something like this is you want to get your dies out, and you want to actually cut a couple of extra panels with the scallop already on it. And you're going to cut your wave design from there. So this is the first die. So you can see that I want my first panel to be kind of up around here. But this way, the scallops and the stitching are already going to be on there. And this might be a, well, duh, yeah, that's how you do it moment for you guys. But it was not hard. It was not easy for me to figure out on my own. For some reason, it was a big challenge. But it was kind of a great moment because I was like, oh, that's how they do that. So I learned something. So you're going to place your die kind of where you want it. And I tape it in place, and then I'm going to go and run it through my die cut machine. So that's going to give me piece number one. And then you're going to cut a second piece out of the other end, and then you're going to be able to line them up together. And I'll show you that in just a second. So I'm just going to, you know what? I could probably put this on at the same time and run it through. That's a good idea. Get a little bit more tape here. You know what? I don't think I'm going to be creating 2 cards tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I have the brain power to do it. I'd like to say I do, but I really don't think I do. We'll be lucky if we get this one done, but we'll try. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and then I'll show you how you line it up. But I really wanted to point out that I didn't find that to be an easy concept for my brain to grasp. And I wanted to share it with you guys in case it's not an easy concept for you. Because I figure if it happened to me, it could happen to you. Okay, so here is one of the pieces. And see how it's got the stitching and the scallop. And then this is the other piece. So then these two will just layer together like so. And then that will layer onto the panel, and everything will line up perfectly. And it has the stitching going all the way around. Amanda to the rescue is right. Okay, so that's how you kind of create your base. Obviously, it's all white, so we're going to have to do some ink blending and everything on here. But I did want to share how I did that. And I love these little wave dies. They're just border dies, and you can create waves in different configurations using those. So that's that part. Okay, but if we're going to do 2 cards, I need one more base. Oh, here, I cut one already. Look at that. See, there's that. And I have waves. There we go. So we've got that. Now, let's get our suns ready. So I did cut out 2 suns. And again, I am using the dies from this set here. Let's get this here. This one is called Here Comes the Sun. And you can just use the stamps on their own, or you can use them with the dies, or you can use just the dies on their own. I know, Amanda, I'm sorry. It was not an easy concept for me to grasp, but I got it, and it was great. So I used this die here to cut out the sun, and then I used, you get 3 circles in this die set, which are great to have on hand. So you can really make the face of your sun really large or really small, depending on what you want it to look like. I chose the medium one, so I cut that one out. Both of them out of the same color. Okay, so we've got 2 circles like so. And I'm just going to stack them together and create the sun that I did. But I'm going to use a pop dot. And then I'm going to stamp on the face. And I'm going to use googly eyes because I love the googly eyes. Because Jill Hawkins uses googly eyes quite a bit as well. And in the funniest ways. So I really do love that. I went to, I think I picked them up at Dollarama. And I have, I only have one size. I might have another package somewhere that has different sizes, but I'm going to definitely expand. And I have them all in here. So if you ever want to add googly eyes to anything, this is a great idea. And then, well, just to go through some of the things here, I even have little tiny white pom-poms. Those are for bunny tails. Oh, look, I even have some bunnies. I think these were from Tailored a long time ago. But see, you can put like a little bunny tail on there. So if you want to add just a little something fun to your cards, you can do stuff like that. So this is kind of my themed collection of bits and baubles. And I use the Storage for Tiny Things from Tailored Expressions. Now they have been out of stock, but I just got the notification that they're back in stock. So we've got orders in for these, but I love storing all my little tiny things in here. It makes them really easy to look at and pick things out. So what we're going to do is stamp our little faces first. And in this stamp set here, you get a couple of options. You get just eyes. Oh, sorry, those are cheeks, I think. You get this face, you get this face, and then you get this face. And I'm going to use this one here. So stamping should be pretty easy. I am pretty proud of myself, though. I got home just before 4, and I already have all of my stuff put away. So that is good. Sometimes I don't get to that right away, and I end up working out of a basket or 2 for a couple of weeks. But I am happy to say that everything's put away. I had to, otherwise I would never be able to find anything for tonight's live. So we're just going to put on a little face, and I'm not going to use my Misty. I'm just going to freehand it. So I'm just going to pull it down here so I can see. And I am stamping the face a little bit to the bottom. Isn't that cute? A little bit to the bottom, just because I think it looks cute. And there we go. We have 2 very happy sunshines. One thing I did not find was my chamois. I think it's still in one of the pockets of my bags. Okay, we're just going to put my stamp up there, so I'll clean it later. Okay, and now we're going to assemble this. So we're going to grab some foam tape and a pair of scissors, and we are going to cut off a couple pieces and pop this up. So did you guys have busy weekends, or did you have nice, relaxing, calm weekends? Ours was very relaxing and very calm most of the time. But when I'm not used to sitting at my desk for 3 days straight and crafting. Oh my gosh. The girls were very proud of me. I stayed very focused and I was very productive. So we got lots done, but I didn't I didn't realize crafting could be so hard. Christina's all put away as well. Good to hear. So now we've got our little sunshine. So all we have to do is add our googly eyes later on when we're ready. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to get our waves inked up, and then I can splatter those while we do our rainbow. And then, because we're going to need a little bit of drying time in between. So I used my Pink Fresh inks this weekend. Oh, Megan's telling me I did so good. Yeah, I'm a bit of a, like I get interrupted a lot when I craft, when I'm doing things at home. So I don't usually sit for that length of time. So it was kind of amazing. Okay, so I'm going to use my Pink Fresh inks, and that's what I used this weekend. And I'm going to use my waffle flower brushes because I want large area coverage, but I want to be able to lay down a little bit more color than I can with the Pink Fresh 1-inch brushes. So I'm going to go, I don't think I have a blue brush yet. I do not. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have seen me use these yet. I haven't used them too much yet, but I really like them. So these are from Waffle Flower. They are quite a large brush and a fairly short pile. I'll bring the 1-inch brush on so you can see. Not much. A different style of bristle than the Pink Fresh. These ones are more spread out, so bigger area. But I've seen them lay down a lot color a lot faster with these ones. So I like this. So we're going to use these, and we're going to do both panels. So we're just going to pick up some ink. Now, whenever I'm working on a panel like this, I like to start blending on my glass and then bring it onto my paper. Don't start on your paper if you can. And working on glass is so nice because your bristles just slide across the paper, or sorry, the glass so easily, and then they just gradually blend onto the cardstock. So I like the handle on these two. You can kind of just grab it, and I'm not pressing hard. I'm just applying some pressure, but see how quickly the ink goes down, but still very, very smoothly. Much nicer than a smaller blending brush. You don't get any brush marks or lines. And then we just have to do that center part. So I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper. You'd think I'd have lots laying around. Oh, so I'm just going to make sure I don't get any finger marks on here. And I'm just going to blend that center part in there. So I like to kind of leave it a little lighter in the center, just so that it kind of gives that sort of faded in effect. Okay, so there's one piece. And then we're going to do the piece that layers on top. And also when you come in from the side off the glass, do you see how the edges pick up the color a little darker than the interior part of your panel? So I love that it kind of gives you that effect. Okay, I don't want to get a line. And it really makes the stitching stand out nicely too. And it's going to look great when we layer this on top of the piece we already blended. So it's going to look something like this. So see how my edges are just a little darker? It looks so good. So that is for one card. And then we'll just grab these. So I really didn't have a lot of prep done for these. Just a couple of panels kind of cut out ahead of time. But So this is like real-time crafting here. This is about how long it will really take. Perfect. And then the small piece here. Is anybody saying anything? Nope, you guys are very quiet tonight. Alrighty, so there we go. We've got so I used turquoise from Pink Fresh to do that blue. And I'm just going to quickly clean off my glass mat here, and then we're going to do some splatter because I do want to add some white splatter to this. Oh, I threw all my cloths in the wash. They got a good workout this weekend. Get a new one out. There we go. Okay. So now I got to bring on my splatter box and hope I don't get everything covered in white. But I'm going to try to be very careful. All right, so here we go. We're going to throw our panels in here. I almost never splatter in my craft room because I find there is always overspray. So I'm using a small glass mat. This is the 6x9. I know we have to put an order in for our glass mats because I think we're sold out of the big ones right now, but we will be getting more. And I am going to use 2 different brushes because I don't have water in here to clean these. So we'll use a small brush. I might have to run out to my sink. Okay, here we go. That's a lot of paint. Okay, so I'm going to tap that on, and we're hoping, oops, well, I got one big blob. We're hoping for little splatters. Need a little bit more. So I try to dab off before there we go. It's coming. Patience is kind of a thing with this. I'm going to just do a touch of water. I don't like to really water it down too much because then it doesn't. There we go. Okay, so we've got some white splatter on there, which is perfect. And then I'm just going to set this aside. First, I'm going to go rinse off my brush because if I don't, it will get hard. Hold on 1 second. Sometimes I wish I had a kitchen sink in my craft room. Just put this aside now. Okay, so we'll let those dry because I got some big blobs on there while we work on our rainbow. Okay, so we need I don't see too much splatter, so that's a good thing. Okay, so we've got 2 panels here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our rainbow. So I'm just going to grab this stencil. So again, the stencil is called Arched Rainbow. It's 2 pieces, and it is really easy to use. So I need my sticky mat, which I did not have a chance to clean from the weekend. So I'm hoping it's going to be sticky enough. I was afraid it wouldn't dry in time, so I skipped it. Okay, so we're going to go with okay, so you have 2 pieces. One has larger arches and one has smaller. So we're going to start with the larger ones. And I'm just sort of positioning this like I'm winging it. I'm just sort of positioning it low enough that the waves are going to kind of cover that, and I'll be able to test it here. And I'm just centering it from side to side. So I'm just going to grab my largest wave without smudging my, yep, so that'll cover that, no problem. Okay, perfect. So we do have to do a little masking because I'm going to do each arch a different color. So I'm just going to use a sticky note, and I'm just going to cover up the center arch. Now I've also got an open piece up here, and I don't trust myself. So I'm going to just stick a piece of paper in there just to protect that in case. And the first color we're going to do is pink. That's the largest arch. So I'm going to use Bubble Gum from Pink Fresh. And again, I'm going to now use a different blending brush. This one's too big for that small area. So I'm going to go with my regular size brushes, which are the Altenew. These are called small, but they come in a pack of 4. And they are my favorite blending brush for like regular blending. And we're just going to grab the pink, and we're going to add pink ink. To the first arch. And I want the color to be fairly vibrant, so I'm just sort of laying down a fairly heavy coat of ink. And then I'm just going to switch my sticky note to the other side to protect that. So these can be done pretty quickly. And you can make your rainbow whatever color you want. So I'm choosing like a traditional rainbow color, but you can do like softer colors for like a baby card or something like that. It doesn't have to be super vibrant. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do both colors. I was going to put the panel in and do the other pink one, but we will just do it in 2 steps. Well, I've already lost something. Oh, here we go. I just need my cloth so I can wipe some of that pink ink off. Because now we're going to come in, because I'm going to skip the orange and I'm going to go to yellow, because the other stencil will do that piece in here. So we're going to go to yellow now. And we're going to use sweet mustard and a yellow brush. And again, now I'm just going to cover up the pink because I don't want to make a new color like orange. Just going to protect that so it doesn't get a lot of ink on it. And then we'll just kind of move it around as we need to. And the openings in these stencils are quite big, so you get lots of coverage quickly, so it doesn't take long to do it. Ugh, my sticky note's not sticking because there's ink on the stencil. But I'm just kind of holding it there so it doesn't get on the pink. There we go. So that's layer 1. And now we'll come in with layer number 2. And then you're just going to take this and basically line it up just by eyeball. So you can kind of see through the stencil and where it is placed. And then you'll know you have it lined up. And it'll look great. So it's very easy to line up. I'm not using any of the etching lines or anything that are on there because those are sort of designed for the arched calendars. And I'm not using that. So now we're going to go with orange. And we're going to go with clementine ink. And again, I'm just going to mask off that center piece This should stick pretty good now that there's no ink on there. And remember to swirl your brush in both directions, because as those bristles glide across the stencil, they pick up the ink in a different way. Okay, so there's the orange. And then the inside one is green. So I'm going to use key lime. And those are going to be the colors of our rainbow this time. Okay, new sticky note. Because I want it to stick. There we go. And I mean, really, I can probably avoid getting ink on the other layer, but there we go. All right, so we have made a rainbow. Pretty easy. Turned out really good. Isn't that fun? Nice and bright. Okay, so that's card number 1. And I'm just going to pop this off. And we're going to do the same thing again for card number 2. Okay, so let's get this kind of lined up. So what I'm looking at is from side to side, and then how far down I'm coming. And then I'm just going to test my, I'm just going to test my wave and make sure that it's low enough. Yep, perfect. Okay, and we're good. And we're going to dive in again with that pink. Let's see if I can do this without masking. Could be a fail. We're going to try. Oh, I think we're fine. Sometimes I don't like to try new things when I'm doing a live, because if it's a fail, then you all know. Wow, you guys are super quiet tonight. Nobody's chatting about anything. Okay, so there's the pink. And then we're going to come in with the yellow. So I am going to clean off the stencil though, just so I don't drag my brush through and get a new color. Anyone else get in some crafty time this weekend? Yeah, that's a good question. Did anybody else get in any crafty time this weekend? I want to know. And if you did, what were you working on? Okay, so there's layer 1. We're just going to pull that off and then come in with layer 2. Christina, I'm still in my craft room getting swap cards organized. Yes, so that's what my focus was this weekend for sure, was swap cards. I have, oh my gosh, so many done. It was great. So now I feel like the pressure's off of me a little bit, because I think things are going to get real busy for me. So I wanted to be sure I was ahead. That was definitely my goal. Okay, so now we're going to do the orange. So this is a very easy rainbow stencil to use. I really like it. And as you can see, you don't really have to mask, as long as you don't get too crazy with your swirling. Okay, so there's our orange. I was able to play with some new things on the snow day. Nice. I threw my back out, so no crafty time for me. Oh, Susan, I feel your pain. I have back issues, and it's no fun. Okay. Oopsie. So I did get a little shadowing down there, but that's okay because we're going to cover that up with green. Oops, I just took this off. Shoot. Okay, let's put that back down. And we're going to do green. And then we can take it off. Just want to clean that stencil off again. Just don't want to be making any new colors on my brush. So if you're not comfortable with your ink blending and you want to mask, you totally can. But if you're just careful, you can do it without. Okay, there's the green. Perfect. All right, rainbow number 2. So now we're going to splatter these pieces using black, which can be a little scarier. But I love the rainbow palette with black. It really makes the colors pop, and the black just really pops off as well. So it's something that I like to use a lot together. I'm just going to clean off my desk here, and then we'll get that into the splatter box. And the splatter dries pretty quickly if you don't load on too much. And so I think we should be able to work with them pretty quickly. Okay, so let's bring this back over. Pretty sure my white will be dry now. So we can take these panels out. And they're just nicely splattered with white, nothing too heavy. And then we'll pop these ones in. And I'll grab my little palette again. And this time we're going to go with black. Okay, here we go. So I'm starting up kind of high. I'm just going lightly. Oh, perfect. Okay, excellent. So I didn't get any really big blobs, which is excellent. Again, I'm just going to go rinse that brush off really quickly so that I don't get that dried ink on there. Okay, I should have just had a little glass of water in here, but I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside, and then we're going to put our blue panels together. And these are just going to lay flat together, but then I'm going to pop the whole panel up on my card. So we're just going to use some liquid glue here. All right, and you're just going to line up the scallop edge with the one behind, and then it will be perfectly lined up for your panel. So both of those waves will layer together like that. So is anybody working on any rainbow cards? Anybody casing the card? Oh, wow, we've got some chatter here. So Cheryl, this afternoon I started on my grandson's birthday card, up to coloring the cut pieces. Nice. I did, this weekend I did my son's birthday card whose birthday's in July, and my other son's birthday card, whose birthday's in September. So I was really happy to get that done. But I might have my grandson's card for February. I have to look. And then Judy says, I'm working on Christmas cards for next year. Good plan. Figure I'd do a couple at a time. I also had to make cards for a friend who's turning 70. Yes, everybody has these plans. It's like, and the days just get away from you, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm behind. Okay, and then I had cut out those sentiments already. What did I do with my tray? Oh, here it is. So I stamped and cut out, here's to another trip around the sun, which will fit perfectly down there. And then this one, you brighten my day, will fit perfectly right there. So I think those are going to look great on there. So I guess I could go ahead and stick that on too, because I'm just giving those panels a minute to dry. I don't want to smudge my black splatter. So we'll just pop these on. And I'll grab a magnet to hold them in place. Just make sure they're straight. There we go. So that can sit there. Yeah, I always think, oh, you have lots of time to get those cards ready. And then all of a sudden, okay, so that's that. So those are done. You know what? We can even put a couple of gems on those too while we're waiting for those panels to dry. So I did pull out my other gems. This one here is kind of like my neutral spin, because I find it's the one that I go to the most. So I have some of these sort of baubles up here that I used, and I thought they worked really well. So I'm going to put like kind of one on each side here. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue there. And then I will get my picker-upper. We'll see if we can get these flipped over the right way. And then we can pop them on. Because then they can sit and dry. And then this one, and I'll hold these up so you can see the splatter and the gems a little closer. There we go. So this one doesn't have too much splatter, but it has just enough. So that's what that one looks like. And then this one here, this is the one I got the blob on, but it still looks okay. That's what that looks like. So those are all ready to go. I'm going to leave these little gems out because we have to put them on the card when it's done. Put this away. Okay, so now we need our panels. Oh, I need a couple of card bases. I cut extra card bases this weekend. I was going through them like crazy. So a couple of those. Now I decided not to put anything in behind my panel at all. You could put another color back there if you want to, but I really like the look of white on white. I think it looks really nice. It is definitely a style that Jill Hawkins uses a lot. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to keep with the same look. So here are my two panels. So we're just going to get this placed on the bottom and lined up. See, when you add that teal, how much it brightens the whole thing. But I am going to pop this up. So I'm going to use my foam tape for that. And I'm going to do that to both of them. So we may as well get them both over here. See, we're going to have 2 cards done in no time. Probably in an hour, which is amazing. I have really adopted the whole, I make 3 cards when I make them. And my whole idea is to build a stash. And I'm also always keeping the card swap that I'm involved in through Two Scrapbook Friends in mind as well, because you usually have a group of 3 people. So you're going to swap with 2 other people, and then I can put one in my stash. So this way I'm I don't always know what the swaps are going to be that far ahead, but you can kind of prepare ahead. And I'm sure that my swap cards will fit in, or my cards will fit into the swap somewhere. So that I'm not always chasing it all the time. I don't like to chase things. I like to create because it's fun. Now I do know some of the swaps that are coming up in the next little bit. So I worked on masculine cards on the weekend, and I worked on one of our swap challenges is things that fly. So I'm not going to give away any secrets, but I did work on that one. And spring and Easter's coming up. So this could definitely work for a spring card. I'm not going to use it for that, but yeah, it could work for all kinds of things. Yes, Shelby, you are working on it already. You just chip away at it, and all of a sudden you're going to have a stash. Are your sentiments 1 layer? Oh, I stack them for sure. Yep, I love to stack my sentiments. So I did it ahead of time just because so you didn't have to watch me. But yes, I use 110-pound Neenah white cardstock, and I stamped the first layer, and then I cut 2 more layers, and then I glued them together. So it does give you a little bit of dimension. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. And I really like how that looks. So I almost always stack my sentiments for sure. And Judy's saying, don't forget to give our video a thumbs up, which I appreciate. So now we're going to take these release paper off the back of these. Excuse me. And then we'll be able to put this in place on the first card. So again, you are lining up the scallops, so you have to be really careful when you place this down. Oops, not to let it just fall any old way, because you want it to line up with the back, which it did. And I always have a little dish or something close by to throw my little bits and scraps in. I find this keeps my desk pretty tidy. Well, tidy of paper bits, but not of not of all the other stuff. Okay, and then we're going to line this one up. Perfect. So we've got those 2 panels, and then we already did our suns, which are over here. So we just have to add the googly eyes to those, which is so cute. Get my bin out again. I need 4 googly eyes. Perfect. And some glue. And I found with the size of googly eyes I have, I can kind of just put the dot of glue right where the ink is from the stamp. And then my eyes fit okay over top. But if you have really big ones, then you might find you might have to move your glue up a little bit. But I found this worked quite well. And they just look so good when you put them on. Like, how cute is that? I should see if we can get some googly eyes in to sell, because they are really fun. And I mean, it is fun to add them to all kinds of little kind of critters and fun things. So there's our googly eyes. Now I am not going to pop up the sun any further because I popped up the top part. I don't want to get too much dimension, because then you might have to pay extra for postage and stuff. So try to keep that under control. So we're just going to kind of pop it up in the corner here, not covering up too much of our rainbow. And we'll just pop that one up there, like so. And there we are. Now, I did add that little bit of stitching detail right here, and it's very, very easy to do. I'll do it on one card live so we can see. So I have a mat that I put underneath my card, and this is what I pierce into. And then I need a ruler so I can do a straight line. Here's a good one. Now, what I want to do is I want to put 2 rows of piercing. So one is going to be kind of on the pink. Just trying to decide where I want to start here. I don't want to go up the curve. I want to keep it on the straight line. So I'm just going to add and I go every 1/8 of an inch. So not too many. And then I'm going to flip it this way. And I'm going to go in between. Oops, I can't flip it. I'm going to have to go this way. So now I'm going to go in between the dots I already did and pierce on the white. But I'm going in between because we're going to stitch in a zigzag. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I need some white thread. So I use embroidery floss, and I'm only going to use 3 strands. And so you don't need very much. So if you want it to look really fine, you can go with 2 strands or even 1 strand. But I'm going to use 3. I think 3 worked out okay. And then you need a needle. Now, the thing with needles is you don't want them to be too thick, depending on the kind of stitching that you're doing. Because if they're too thick, then it's going to make your holes look really big. And even if you're doing very fine stitching, then come on out. The holes are just going to get really big because of the size of your needle. So just be mindful of that. And I got to thread this live. That should be fun. Ugh. I used to make fun of my mom all the time about threading a needle. I'm like, Mom, how can't you see that? Well, I'm sure she's laughing at me if she's watching because I can't see. So I'm going to come up from the back and I'm just going to put a little piece of score tape on the back there. I know, Susan, 2 cards in less than an hour. It's kind of crazy. I mean, if I wasn't adding the stitching, it would be even faster. And I really did not prep a lot ahead of time. Like, it's very quick. And actually, I'm going to end up with 3 cards because I had made my sample card ahead. So I'll end up with 3 cards by the time I'm finished, which is amazing. And they're all generic enough that I can use them for lots of things that might come up. So I'm just going to do like a zigzag. So I just went down. I came up the hole, the lowest hole on the pink, and I'm going down the white one on the white side. And then I'm coming up from the back on the pink side, and I'm going to go back down on the white. So I'm going to do kind of a zigzag. So see what I'm doing there? Now I'm going to come up on the white and go back down on the pink side, kind of behind me. There we go. And then up on the pink side, back down on the white. So I'll just show you up close what I'm doing. See that zigzag? And that just adds a little bit of detail. And again, I'm just mimicking what Jill Hawkins does. She does it so well. She just puts these little bits of stitching on her cards. And it just, I mean, I love to stitch on my cards, or to stitch on paper. So I just think it's such a nice little touch. And I couldn't do it the way that she did on her original card, but this definitely kind of pulls that in. And you have to get the stitching on before you put it on your card base, because you don't want to stitch through both layers and then you would see it on the inside of your card base, which wouldn't look so good. So you want to get this sort of stitching done before you're done. So that's what that looks like. So isn't that cute? Just a little bit. And then I just use a little bit of score tape on the back of my card to hold that in place, because no one's going to see it. And then we can go ahead and stick that right down onto a card panel. Again, you can pop it up if you want to, but I'm trying not to get too much dimension, because if I want to mail this, then I don't want too much of it popping up. You could also put a little layer of color in behind if you want to, but I like the crisp white look that gives. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my glue, and we're going to sandwich this together. Like so. So I'm just going to pop that down there. And then because I'm using liquid glue, I can just wiggle it into place perfectly. And then I usually grab a couple of magnets just to push it down. Just add a little bit of pressure on all the corners there. And then we just have to do the second one. And you know what? It takes me no time to do that stitching. So I'm just going to do it. And then it's finished, because if I don't do it now, it's not going to happen. Oops, sorry, I just hit the camera. Okay, so we're just going to do the pink dots here. So even with stitching, it does not take that long. Do you guys ever stitch on your cards? Oh, yes. Well, see, I like to cross stitch. So I've been kind of, well, I haven't lately, but I had been kind of dabbling in the cross stitch thing again. And you can do cross stitching on your cards as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping to get to a lot of projects that I have on my list. But these Sunday night sessions are quite helpful for that. It gets me to my desk, even when I don't want to be here. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to be here tonight, but I was really tired. So I was like, if I did not have this commitment, I definitely would have bailed on my crafting session tonight. But I'm glad that I did it, because again, 2 more cards done and in my stash. But I will be heading to the couch after I'm done here for sure. Because tomorrow is a new day. And I think it's going to be a busy one for me, because I have, like I said, not been on my computer for 3 days. And I have a lot of people to email back and orders to place, and all kinds of fun stuff is happening. Other projects to plan. But tonight I'm not going to think about that. But yeah, adding this little bit of stitching to your card is so much fun. And I just think it adds just that little bit of texture. I don't do it to every card, obviously, but I was inspired. So I thought I'm definitely going to give it a try. And it sure doesn't take very long. Okay. I have to remember to check the weather and what's going to be happening tomorrow, because I'm thinking, what the heck? I know originally there was snow in the forecast for Monday and Wednesday, I think, but then it kind of disappeared. So maybe it's come back again. But this card is going to remind me of sunny days ahead, which will be here before we know it. But some days it doesn't feel like it, does it? Are you live every Sunday night? My first time here. Well, so the plan is to be every Sunday night, but there are times when I can't. And I do know that next Sunday night, we have a family dinner, which almost never happens. So I don't think I'll be able to go live Sunday, but I might try to go live Saturday night. I'm not promising yet. It just depends how the week goes. And then there are times when I race on weekends and I'm not able to be home on a Sunday night to do that. So I try to do most Sundays. Yeah, Angie, that's what I was concerned about. Yeah, in Listowel. So you're not that far from me. We have an orange snow swell warning with possible blizzard conditions for tomorrow. Well, that just sounds lovely, doesn't it? I can't wait. I mean, I'll be tucked away in my office, but I know my husband has to drive to Toronto. I mean, they don't always get what we get here, but it does not make fun for commuting. That's for sure. And we were closed on Thursday. We didn't go into the store. So we've got a lot of orders to pull and packages to ship. So we've got to get in there and get that done too. So let's get that on here. We'll just switch our magnets over here. And so that we can put some pressure on there. There we go. So here's my original. It has a little bit more black splatter. But there's number 2. Oh, my inking was a little bit darker too, but that's okay. So cute. And then there's my third one. I asked in church this morning why we can't have a sun warning. Oh, right? We all need to pray for that. Sun warnings. Well, we probably do get them in the summertime. The UV index. It just doesn't sound as drastic as a blizzard. Oh, well. Anyways, ladies, that is my live for tonight. I have 3 cards done. One I had pre-done, but so we've got 3 cards. My first one is definitely darker. I was heavier blending on there, but isn't that cute? I love them. So I will be able to put those in my stash now. And when somebody has a birthday or I want to send a little sunshine, because somebody could just be struggling with something and you're going to send a little sunshine their way. And then this one, you brighten my day. It's a nice way to say thank you. So they're just very cute. Very, very cute cards, very bright and fun. So again, any questions about any of the product, just you can email us at twoscrapbookfriends@gmail.com. I'll pop that banner up here again, just so that you can reference that. So like I said at the beginning of the video, the rainbow stencil is in stock right now. It was called something. What was it called? It was called Arched Rainbow. But the rest of the product we have had in the past, but we don't have it right now. But I am happy to order it again. Maybe I should. But, there's always so many new things. So, and then again, credit for the original design goes to Jill Hawkins. And you can look her up on Instagram. She's JILLD Hawkins. And you can see all the fun things that she has created. I know she does some designing for Waffle Flower as well. So she was the inspiration for this card tonight. And I thank her for that. So I should start making 2 at a time. Yes, Judy, you should. So, well, that way, you know what? Because, I mean, have you ever gone through your card stash and thought, ooh, I don't want to give that one away. I really like that one. This way you kind of have one for yourself and then one to give away. And I mean, if you want to go back and recreate them again, they're very accessible to you then. You can definitely grab them out and get some inspiration from them. So yes, very cheerful cards. Great card to send to someone. I know. I love them. So I'm definitely going to be putting them in my stash and they'll go out to some people at some point. So anyways, thank you so much and for coming and joining me tonight. And keep your eyes posted on emails and socials about when our next one will be. So fingers crossed for Saturday night next weekend. But if it's been a crazy week, I don't know if I'll get to it. So we'll see. I'll see. But I know Sunday is out for me. So anyways, ladies, have a great night and we will see you soon.